here present, district and village heads, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a pleasure to receive the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, and his running mate, Dr. Dati Baba Ahmed, and his entourage to this historic palace. I would like to use this opportunity to welcome them and then to let us know that he is here to solicit for the citizen support, to solicit for His Royal Highness blessing and support generally. Therefore, I will allow the state coordinator of the campaign in the state to introduce the presidential candidate and his members of the entourage before the presidential candidate's speech. State coordinator. Okay.
Your Royal Highness, this afternoon, distinguished Senator Dati Ahmed. We have our mother, Mrs. Peter Obi, and her friends. I'm so sorry because I don't have the name here.
I will do the rest. Okay.
The person is not working.
It's not working?
Yes.
Okay. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد. I begin by taking a special excuse for our appearances. Your Royal Highness may wish to excuse us. We're in the campaign season and His Excellency has led this. So this is just a normal campaign attire, Your Highness. Otherwise, we will not enter the palace. We do apologize, Your Royal Highness. Permit me to start and then end with the introduction of our principal, Mr. President of the meeting. I'll say the best, well, for the last. I'll start with the gubernatorial candidate for Taraba State Labour Party, Senator former Minister Joel Elani Kenya, good friend of mine in the House of Reps. My auntie Hadia Hawa Buker, Mrs. Chidi Onyemeleku, good friend of mine, Stella Ogoru, Hadia Aisha Isufu, stand up and stop. I can't see anybody there. Again, National Organizing Secretary, Anjuku, Alhaji Abdi, a very old hand, because often Zuma came again here. Alhaji Abdi Mohammed, and then Her Excellency, Mrs. Margaret Obi, and His Excellency, former governor, and presently the presidential candidate of Labour Party for the 2023 presidential elections, Peter Your Royal Highness, I am Dati Baba Ahmed, simply a son in this palace, because he's of blessed memory. The late Emir was a favorite student of our late dad in Burial College. In fact, the unfortunate event of 1985, our dad then was the first to hear it in radio, and we do recall how unpleased he was. He told us very old history between our family and how much he liked His Royal Highness of blessed memory. Your Excellency, we heard about this blessed palace long before we came to meet you. On behalf of the Baba Ahmed family, Excellency, I bring you special greetings. Amen. With your kind permission, I will pass and yield the floor to our presidential candidates.
His Royal Highness, let me stand on all existing protocols having been introduced by recognizing the dignitaries who are here. We hear, Your Highness, for our campaign, like it's been mentioned, but we deem that it is necessary that we come to this revered palace to pay our respects, our loyalty, and solicit for your blessing as we go along seeking for our votes. Your Highness, I will not bore you with telling you about what is happening in Nigeria today. Everything that is happening in Nigeria today, Your Highness, is well done to you. And I'm sure you are as worried as all of us are. That this country is so blessed. When I was in the car coming to this revered palace, I was telling those who were in the car, said, look at the lovely mountains where people go to pay everywhere in the world to see. Look at the oil plains. These are what people are going to pay in Kenya and everything to see the Western way. Your Highness, Nigeria is collapsing. And it's doing so fast that we have now created 133 million people living in poverty. And Taraba is not an exception. It is happening here where there are millions of people who don't know where the next meal will come from. And that is what I and Baba Ahmed wants to revise before it collapses finally. We want to reverse that situation where our children, young people in their productive age, are doing nothing except criminality. We all live in fear. Nobody can drive from here down to Abuja. When you leave, people will just be praying that you get there. You're coming back, it's the same thing. And we can't go on. The reason simply is cumulative effect of leadership failure over the years that have refused to invest in the people in Nigeria. Rather, we have a criminal situation where people are stealing our money, and we must reverse it. So we have offered ourselves to first secure and unite Nigeria and make it productive, because today it is not productive. It is not working today. That is why a huge country of this size cannot feed itself, despite the fact that God gave us vast, fertile land. We can't feed ourselves. That is why a state like Taraba that can feed Nigeria is not doing so. Taraba Rhine is 54.4 thousand square kilometers of land. So Taraba is bigger than Belgium and Israel put together.
4.4 million.
No, square kilometers.
Oh, okay, yes.
The land space. It is bigger than Belgium and Israel put together. Both of them combined. Belgium is 30.9 thousand square kilometers and Israel is 21.1. They are 53,000 square kilometers. Taraba is 54.4. Yet, we cannot feed the sun. Taraba is on the plain of Mambila. So you can cultivate flour here. Kenya did export of over 500 million flowers last year. You can cultivate coffee here. Ethiopia did 1.1 billion export of coffee. You can cultivate tea here. All countries like Sierra Leone did 1.4 billion in tea last year. And I can go on and tell you what can be produced in Taraba. But the vast land of Taraba, all cultivated, and that is how Nigeria is. The entire Nigeria is all cultivated. Because we are sharing money. All we do is to go to Abuja. Taraba as a state can generate 10 to 20 times what it gets from revenue sharing in Abuja. And all we need to do is to invest money in them. All we need is to do those programs we are doing to pull people out of poverty by coming to do it in Taraba. Your Highness, I'm happy that people are here taking what I'm saying. We have said we are not going to govern from Abuja. We will go to each state, invest in those states, see people. We will bring stakeholders like you to be in charge as we pull the youths and women of Taraba out of poverty. As we put families out of poverty. All you hear in Nigeria is programs about agriculture, programs about poverty, programs. You hear them in TV. Nobody have ever seen it. People are getting poorer every day. That's the one we want to reverse. We want our children to be in school. We want society. We want to stop by fighting criminality. Our farmers will go back to farm. We'll stop those who are stealing our oil. We will ensure that we stop the criminal subsidy of fuel and subsidize education and health. Because that's how Nigeria will develop. We'll educate our people and we will do what it takes to pull people out of poverty by first feeding ourselves. India used to ration food. Today India feeds itself. And there are 1.4 billion people living on a 3.2 million square kilometers of land. So we have more land to cultivate than India. And we can't feed ourselves. Right, that's what we're going around telling people, asking them that next year's election should not be based on tribe. Let nobody come and say, I'm from here, I'm from here. No region, no site in Nigeria buys bread cheaper. No tribe buys bread cheaper. No tribe where there's no unemployment, no tribe where there's no hunger. Every tribe is going through hunger. Taraba, Kano, Anambra, Oyo, everybody suffering the same thing. Next year's election should not be about religion. No religion in Nigeria buys bread cheaper. Everybody in Nigeria is hungry. Every tribe is going through the same problem. So we don't want it to be a tribal thing. We don't want to be tribal. We don't want to be about religion. Today, as I've said everywhere, Dubai is supposedly a Muslim country, but the Kali church in Dubai was built by Emir of Dubai. They take the land, build the church. In England, the central mosque in England, the land was donated free of charge by the Queen. That land alone is worth over several million pounds. Here, we turn religion into another thing. We don't want it to continue. We want next year's election to be based on character we can trust. We want characters we can trust. Your Highness, everybody can go and verify about me, about Dati Ahmed, our background, whether we're involved with issues of corruption or anything. It is very easy. The verification is very easy. I was governor of a state for 8 years, and I've challenged anybody, go there and show me where their money is missing. And it's on record that when I left there, I was not owing salary, pension, gratuity, or owing any supplier or contractor that executed this thing. And I say it every day. And I challenge one contractor to say, I'm being owed. I challenge any citizen to say, I was owed with my pension or gratuity. And above all, that I left $150 million and 30 billion naira in the bank the day I left. Until today, Anambra State has not bought me a bottle of water because I have no gratuity, no pension, no severance, or any allowance, which is not what it is in every other state. And I plead, we've not been involved in corruption, we're wealth creators, and all we want is the opportunity to start putting Nigeria out of poverty in a measurable manner, coming to each state, sitting down with the stakeholders, knowing what they want, supporting them, starting from agriculture, which is what we're enjoyed with, which we found about our land, into agro-processing, producing for export, because we must export goods. The reason why we don't have our currency is weak today, why I conclude, is because we're not exporting anything. Your exchange rate is a function of your reserve. And what drives your reserve is export. If you're not exporting anything, you have no reserve. A huge country like Nigeria, with 220 million people, living on 923,000 square kilometers, our total export last year is 18.9 trillion, which is barely at the official rate, $47 billion. A country like Vietnam is 100 million people, half of our population, living on 331,000 square kilometers. They live on a third of our land. Half of our population, the total export last year is over $300 billion. So we have room to do more, and we will do more. And that is what we are clamoring. That's what we are telling people. I want to see a Taraba state that is prosperous. I want to see a Taraba state where these mountains are not just mountains, but tourist sites where people are visiting them, as they are doing in Kenya. All these young boys here who are running around will become tour guides for those who are coming for tourism. They will become security for those who are coming for tourism. I went to Kenya, I saw it. Young people were planting flowers, being paid $100, they enjoy. The rest are tourists, the rest are drivers. That is what should be happening in Taraba. That is what will make it work. Not what we are doing today, where they just wait to go and get a share of certificate application in Abuja, come here without doing anything, because it is difficult to sustain the state. That money cannot sustain the state. You need to earn much more, and that is what we want to do. I've told the governor that what you're earning, you can earn more from just cultivating flower than going to Abuja. But it is federal government that will drive that process, and we will drive that process. We will do it. So I thank you for finding out of your busy schedule to receive us to come and pay this loyalty. But rest assured, we'll be back. We're not going to walk away. We're not one of those who go for campaign and then after campaign they disappear. That's why we said we'll come personally, put it on tape, so that they said these people promise this and they are back or they are not back. We must change our politics to become where citizens can trust their leaders. Today there's a disconnect. The people don't trust their leaders because all they do is tell lies, say things they will not do. We want to change it. It must be the other way around, where citizens can begin to build trust. Nigerians will be proud to be called Nigerians. We want to restore the dignity of our green passport globally and everywhere. Very much, thank you, and may God continue to bless you.
My honored guest, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, then I will say my friend, Mr. Peter Obi. My son, Mr. Running Mate, Dr. Ahmed Doki. My beautiful daughter, this wife, I could not but look at her twice and be proud that that is a good wife for a future president. My daughters are here, apart from the duty, I'm encouraged by the number in your team. It means we have hope. If this government comes, we are going to have a voice for the women. It is my pleasure to receive you, and it is my pleasure to be part of Nigeria. The presidential candidate has scratched the back a little, but as a father, I will put the line straight. The first issue before us as Nigerians is to turn leadership into science. The meaning of science is the search for truth, and the search for truth to be aimed at creating the best for humanity, and in fact for all the animals. So in leadership, we as emirs in our training, the leader is an average sensible man holding the torch, looking at the best route, looking for the best route, and making sure he follows the best route correctly and encourages all the nation to follow the route that is good and correct. So the first thing in leadership is the clarity of purpose, honesty of purpose. Whoever seeks to be a leader should aim at his heart to be the best Nigerian, to serve Nigeria in the best of his ability, as we say always when we survive. And the best of ability comes when you become a scientist. A scientist is a person who sits down, investigates, finds out the best, and tries to implement the best to serve the best purpose of the country. I hope you will make effort to become that. The second point is, each person hoping to succeed, the first job is his mother, is to make sure he is healthy, he grows, he becomes a successful person. And the first job of a mother is to identify sickness before the child dies. And the sickness of Nigeria today is the leadership. Mental failure, and mental failure in my definition, means a situation where a person is busy doing what is useless and he failed to address what is most useful. What does that mean? We sit down, big ceremonies, big persons, big objectives, big stories, the basic small issues before the nation are not even observed by the leader, not to talk of addressing it. So the first issue in Nigeria is total ignorance. Our most educated, unfortunately, can even be analyzed to be the most ignorant because they are ignorant of the reality of the situation of the country. Yeah. We go on dreaming of solving problems when we fail to look at what the problems are in the first place. And no doctor can cure a disease if he cannot remember what the disease is. Correct. So fundamentally, all those in Hausa, we call them Shigasho Robashan. That means he has no cows and he wants to be a herder. That is to say, he has no knowledge of leadership. And those of us that are born into it, learn it, and we know what to do, we are called traditional. You are lying to yourself. We are the sensible people who know the past and who are going to guide you into the future. So I will list one by one. The first problem of this country is that we have no skill of any type. There is no field that we have excelled in the skill. Starting from basic, if you want to make a needle today, nobody here will tell me where do I start. As a Nigeria of 200 million people, we don't have one engine we can call our own. One engine drives pumps, one engine drives generators, one engine drives our windmills, and whatever we need today comes from engine or the electric motor. I want Mr. Peter Obi to commit to us that he will wake up and say, what is the correct engine for Nigeria? What is the correct motor for Nigeria? And take the steps to reach that. The second element is the definition of comfort and honor. Once a leader thinks his comfort comes from income, from money, from material, then he has failed before starting. The comfort of a leader is from meeting the aspiration of his people. And I give you a test. Go out with Jalingo and ask anybody, is there anything Emir has taken from you? You will get the answer. Is there anything Emir has given you? You will get the answer. What he has taken, what I have taken from my people is zero. What I have given them is the right direction. That is the responsibility of leadership. The third is the word we call corruption. What is corruption? At the end of the day, corruption, pure and simple, is stupidity. Nothing more. You want to steal from your mother's pot. For who is she cooking in the first place? When you steal from the nation is yours. You don't have another place. The first time I was in London, the policeman asked me, "Why have you come to do here?" I said, "I'm not a madman that in my country I left and I don't know what to do. Between me and you, my friend, is your visa, here it is. If you are satisfied, you let me in. If you are not satisfied, I have a place I'm proud of. You are not going to ask me any question more than what is provided in the condition for my coming here. Because I don't have the need to come here. Because you are the person who felt the need to come there first. And you told us you discovered us. I have also come to discover you." So basically, the word corruption is a situation where somebody wants to take advantage of another person. And there is no way you can take advantage of another person without creating an opportunity for another person also to take advantage of you. So the moment you are corrupt, you are also laying foundation for more corruption. You are laying foundation for the corruption that comes on you, and we are all going to be losers. I have been miserable in many occasions in this country, but never more than the day I saw in the newspapers, Justice or Supreme Court are accusing the Chief Judge of corruption. When did they know it? It's a basic question. When did they know it? If he was corrupt and they allowed him to become Chief Justice, then they are birds of the same feather. So basically, we must address corruption at every level. And the first person to address corruption is the person that is leading. If you become president of Nigeria and you change and determine that you will never be corrupt, nobody else will be corrupt.
100%.
100%. But I will tell you, Mr. Obi, I heard this 20 times without any apology. Almost every presidential candidate comes here and tells me, and I tell him what is right, and he tells me I'm right, he's going to do that. Now you have taken the debt, and Jalingo will write the record. I'm happy that you said we are recording what you are saying. I am also going to be happy that you are recording what I'm saying. And the next day I come to us, I will not be told that I'm too small to reach the president.
Come back here.
So, I want to tell all Nigerians that we have a country to be proud of. All we need is to accept the truth. The truth is nobody is going to wipe our tears except our effort and commitment. We must all be committed to do the best. We must be committed to keep Nigeria one. We must be committed to ensure the progress of Nigeria. And Nigeria can only progress through our school skills, effort, and earnest achievement. We should stop compensating people for contributing to the destruction of the country. Completely. Until and unless we do that, we are all going to be doomed. And I pray we never will be. Now finally, my son, brother, and guest, I have sympathy for you. This is a man that there is no doubt he is of the age to be a president. He is of the maturity to be a president. The rest, of course, will be determined by God and others, not the Emir of Jalingo only. But all the facts before me clearly seems good and in his favor. The problem I fear and worry for him is that we cannot escape the fact there is no presidential candidate that does not have a tribe. Every presidential candidate has a mother, and every mother has a room, and every room is located in one local government or the other, and every local government is located in a state and a zone. So there is no presidential candidate that does not have a state. There is no presidential candidate that does not have a zone. And there is no reason anybody from any zone cannot be the president of Nigeria. That one is a different and agreed fact. But the current developments in the East makes me very uncomfortable. Many of you are ladies. I will ask you, which girl, which wife will give her back to the husband that is going to court to seek for divorce? Once your husband is seeking for divorce, then you already have divorce. And therefore, the people of the East must help this gentleman by accepting and facing the fact that they are leaders in trading in Nigeria. They are leaders in effort in Nigeria. They should also be leaders in uniting Nigeria. There is no way, Mr. Obi, your younger brother can tell me that I cannot go to Enugu on Monday. And then I will tell him he's acting correctly. I am a goat rearer. I send my goats to the East. And the vehicles we have can break down anytime. When we start going to the East, you can't say the date you arrive. You have to arrive whenever it's possible to arrive. In a situation where somebody tells me that I cannot enter a soul place on Monday, it's a disaster for the nation. It should be avoided. It should be thrown out. I have no business with anybody agitating for anything. It's a right. But every right should draw within the Constitution. Thank you very much. Okay, in a senatorial candidate now.